I immediately went live with that too. I gotta take a moment to grab chat. Okay. Wild. Thank you. How are you doing, Marv? No sound? Is the sound super quiet again? My microphone's on. I turned the game up. Let me know if that fixes thing. Um, Dinser? I don't know how you say that. I'm gonna call you Din, unless you would like to correct me. Okay. Well, my voice is already at the max, so the most I can do is, like, speak up. Oh, my lovely, amazing girlfriend just texted me. I love that I finished that boss fight without looking at the screen with one hand. Also, pro tip for anyone looking to improve their scores in Super Metroid Arcade. Every Chozo statue has a secret bonus point above its head. So when you get an item, always try to step on the Chozo's head behind it. And that's the case for a lot of like pickups in general as well too. A good rule of thumb, if the room only has an item in it, definitely check behind the item for a secret. That possible is owned. Yeah. See? Boom. Extra 500 points every single item room. I love having space jump early. It's so convenient. That's probably also true. I should be taking the time to do that. I just kind of, I don't always think about it with the recharge rooms. But I will now. Gotta maximize your points. Wave Beam is like one of my favorite things to get early on. Wave and Spazer is a good combo to have in your pocket. If I can get like Varia Suit, maybe, I would really love that. Is that just the answer to just run through it? Okay, so I'm playing a hack of the game called Super Metroid Arcade, and it changes the layout. It randomizes it kind of, and adds like points and stuff. You don't get points like that in the base game. The base game is very fun. If you like a game that will let you just explore and figure things out on your own, Metroid is the series for that. You know, it doesn't hold your hand. It's gonna just let you run around and explore, and you'll figure things out on your own. So if you're okay with that, it's super worthwhile. If you want a world that will just vibe. The soundtrack is also great. The hack that I'm playing randomizes the soundtrack a bit and pulls from other games' soundtracks too. So, like this song, for example, this is not a Super Metroid song. I don't know what game this is from. Maybe someone else in chat does, but I don't. But this is a fun way to kind of replay through that stuff and like get points. I'm playing it because the community I participate in has our own little scoreboard for it, and so I'm trying to beat my friend's score of like 70,000. But if you want to play the base game, super worthwhile. This arcade game's a lot of fun. I'm sure you could have fun with it even if you didn't already know the game, but knowing the game is definitely helpful to enjoying this. Have you played any Metroid games? What's your gaming experience like? Metroidvania? So like that's like the fan like named genre, but there is no game called Metroidvania. There's Metroid, and then there's like Castlevania, like Symphony of the Night. Um, are you talking about Castlevania? And are you talking like Symphony of the Night on the PS1? Or are you talking like the more linear classic NES games? Hollow Knight? Hollow Knight's really fun. That's a good Metroidvania. Um, Hollow Knight is... I've played it... Okay, I already grabbed that, so I can just bounce. I played it for a good bit. I got the, like, true ending, and I was like, alright, we're good. Vibin'. Oh, great, here's the 3-course meal. Um, Super Metroid is not exhaustively difficult. Um, like, the boss fights can be challenging, but there's nothing stopping you from just exploring a bit and finding some extra stuff to maybe help with it or just getting better. But it's not going to be like Hollow Knight where you're like constantly repeatedly throwing yourselves at boss fights. I would say for the most part, like most of the boss fights on my first playthrough only took me maybe a handful of attempts, with maybe one or two of the more challenging ones taking me maybe like upwards of 20 attempts, but like even then I think I'm exaggerating. Yeah, the most difficult part for the most part is really just like exploring and figuring out where you need to go next. The game is very open and it doesn't really tell you what to do. It just kind of lets you explore and do things on your own. So if you might end up being stumped for a while on what to do in some places. Well, I've also played this game dozens of times, and I'm specifically playing a hack that like expects you to just adapt and go with whatever's happening. Like, I know every single room that I'm entering. Like, as soon as I enter the room, I already know what room I'm in and what is in the room. So, like, for me, this isn't really, like, anything new. You know? But, like, my first playthrough, I was confused. I had no clue where I was going. I just kind of figured things out. Took me, like, I beat it over the course of, like, a month on my DS in high school. And then I played it, like, 3 more times before I finished it. Or not before I finished, before I was finished with it. And then my 3DS, like, broke. And I didn't end up playing it again until I started getting into, like, randomizers. But again, that's just another thing where it's, like, purposely challenging your knowledge of the game and how to do things. How am I... Okay. Why am I struggling with this? Yeah. I think it's a very good entry-level game that you can... I think anyone could start Super Metroid even if they've never played a video game before. And I think if you have the tenacity and you like the exploration, you'll be able to beat this game regardless of whether you're a professional speedrunner beating it in like fucking like 30 minutes or whether you're like a 50-year-old grandpa who's never played a video game in his life or a like 12-year-old child who just got the game because their parents were getting them a new console for their birthday. Like, very good game. Right, and like seeing the gameplay, you're like, whoa, that looks kind of interesting. Like, what's that all about? And like, if you think it looks interesting, trust me, it feels even more interesting when you're actually like playing it yourself. Ugh, this is hell. Get me out of here. I hate these sand pits. It's like the worst place to get stuck early on. Get me out of here. Uh, what do I feel the most proud of in my gaming experience? I don't know. Honestly, I feel like it's a really hard question to answer effectively. Nice, nice. Um, I think the moment that I felt like most achieved in a game was I used to live in this not like a small town, but kind of a small town, and we had this retro game shop, and they had this like 1001 arcade game. Can I get out of this pit for the love of God? Um, and so it was this arcade cabinet with a bunch of games you could play, and like it had two things set up, so like two people could play it. And I liked playing Puzzle Fighter. Puzzle Fighter is a game that I really enjoy playing. If anyone asks me to play it, I will always play it because I think it's fun. And uh, I remember I had started playing it just like with my partner, and we were vibing. And this guy walks over, and he's like, you're playing like a bad character. Like, Felicia's like one of the worst characters in the game. It's actually almost laughable how bad she is. And I was like, oh, really? I just thought she was like hot, so I played her. And he was like, yeah, like she's bad. And I was like, okay, well, why don't you play me? And we'll play against each other. And so we played, and he kicked my ass. And I was like, okay, well, let's go again. He's like, okay, but I'm just gonna, like, destroy you again. I was like, okay. And we kept playing, and I kept losing. And then after, like, an hour of us playing, and he was like, wow, like, because he just started trying random characters for the hell of it. And then, I eventually started winning. And then, by the end of the night, it was, like, pretty back and forth. And then, I just kept playing it. Every time I'd come in, I'd play it, and if he was there, we would play. But eventually, it got to the point where I would always win. I would let anyone in the store, if they came in, I'd be like, hey, you want to play Puzzle Fighter? And they're like, sure. And I would play with one hand, and I would put it on the max speed, and I was like, alright, let's go. And I would go off. And I would definitely say I was the best person at Puzzle Fighter in my town. Because nobody beat me after that. It was wild though. Where am I supposed to go? I'm so confused. Because I don't have like any like abilities to really do anything here. I'm confused. What was the second game close to Puzzle Fighter, dude? I don't know what you mean. Like, yeah, I don't understand the question. I think I need you to rephrase. Ugh, I don't know what to do in this room. I'm just gonna reset. It was a good run. Yeah. With Puzzle Fighter, the characters just influenced the type of combos. Like you could like they had like a special move where if like you had your like things laid out in a certain way, like it would go off. And I just didn't really care for that. I just fucking went for combos regardless. But like I do the same thing I do with like Dark Souls, where I don't care about mechanics or whatever. I want to look hot, you know? If I can look hot and kick your ass, I'm going to. I don't care if I do bad at the kicking ass part, you know? If I look hot while I get my ass kicked, that's just as much of a win. I should stream Guilty Gear at some point, and I'll be like I'll let anyone challenge me. Like if anyone wants to like fight me just one-on-one, I'll do it. Cause I'm kind of bad at it, and I want to get better. And the only way to improve is to keep losing until I get better. Beauty is pain. You can see has an extra difficulty. Yeah, it's its own difficulty. What difficulty do you play your games on? Hot. Is that like hard? Sometimes. I play a lot of my games on hard. If the game gives me the choice, I'll more often than not choose whatever's like just above normal. Yeah, why not? Like Dead Space? I played Dead Space on hard. My friend was like, oh, you're not gonna be able to like beat the game. I was like, why? Because I'm playing it on hard? Well, yeah, you're not gonna have as many resources. And I still beat the game. It's just like, I like things to be difficult in a way. I want it to be a challenge that I overcome. It's satisfying. What can I say? It's like when you're like at a track meet and you're running and you run really hard and you beat your old time, you know, you're like improving. It's like, yeah, I did that. Yeah. That too. I just don't want things to be like super easy. You know, I don't want to feel like I'm just being handed my win on a like good old spoon. You know, I don't need my food fed to me. I want to eat it with my hands. Ever rage quitted? I mean, just look at my Dark Souls stream for when I was fighting Ornstein and Smog, whatever it is. I alt F4'd, and then I booted the game back up and just did it. But yeah, sure, I've rage quitted, but it's like I wasn't even that angry. I was just fucking done with it. Right. I like when a game challenges me and I have to like learn and adapt, you know? Sometimes I feel like a game is trying to challenge me, but it's not really challenging and it's more of just unfair, you know? Like there's a line that you have to ride when you're making those things where like it has to be difficult but fair. When you reach the point of it feeling unfair, it stops being a challenge and just becomes like not even like a chore, worse than that almost. Like it's a burden, you know. That's the only time I'll really stop fucking with something. Is like if it feels like I'm not having a fair shot at what I'm supposed to be doing, then why would I be interested in playing it? 69. Oh wait, isn't there? Needed, needed what? Ever needed to lower difficulty? When I was like a kid, sometimes I would lower difficulties on games, but for the most part, I try not to. It kind of depends. Like if I'm playing Osu and I'm having a hard time on a level, uh, if there's a level that's like just a little bit more, like just a little bit below the difficulty, I'll give it a try. It kind of depends. Okay, I've probably only got time for like one more run, and then I'm gonna have to go because I have things I have to do tonight. But I might stream when I'm done those things. Who knows? I don't know what I'll stream. No drops? How evil. Oh my god, guys, nobody told me chat's not set up. I have this fucking Metroid sitting here and there's no chat on top of the Metroid. Heiner, say something next time. Look at that. There you guys are. You're above me now. Hello. Look, and there's the Metroid. It's in captivity. It's rotated. Did they? Oh, they did. Haha, that's great. That's all on me then. Thank you all for being amazing. Whew. 3-course meal, let's go. Thank you. Hope to see you again. I'll probably be streaming again tomorrow, who knows. Have a good day, evening, whatever time of day it is. Okay. Well, I don't have a lot of time, so I don't want to start another run, or at least not on stream. I might do some more later tonight. Who knows? I haven't decided what I'm gonna play tonight, so it's up in the air. Thank you all for being here. This was a very, very short stream today, so I apologize in advance to everyone who didn't get here, but it is snack sized. That's what I'm gonna call the short streams now. Have a good night. Bye.